not here by accident, and you are certainly not reading these words by mere chance. In the vast, intricate network of consciousness, there are no accidents, only appointments. You, who feel the weight of the term chosen one, must understand that to be chosen is not an external lottery, it is an internal awakening. It is the stirring of the spirit within, signaling that you are ready to awaken from the long sleep of the senses. We stand at the threshold of January, a time the world views merely as a change of dates on a calendar, but which the mystic understands as a profound psychological portal. This is a divine month, not because the stars dictate it, but because your own wonderful human imagination, which is God Himself, is presenting you with a clean slate, a fresh field of unconditioned consciousness. To ignore the impulse rising within you right now is to turn your back on your own divinity, and that is a regret that can echo, unfortunately, through the corridors of your entire year. The urgency you feel, that prophetic alert vibrating in your chest, is not a threat from an angry deity in the sky. It is the pressure of your own ideal self, seeking birth. It is the future you desiring to become the present you. But to facilitate this birth, you must have the tools to navigate the invisible world of your mind, for that is where the battle is truly won or lost. If you are sensing that it is time to stop drifting and finally take command of this creative power, I invite you to explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is not just a collection of books, it is a practical map designed for those who are ready to awaken to who they really are. It is for the one who wishes to heal invisible blocks and expand with stability, learning to receive, sustain, and multiply their good without guilt. Whether you prefer to read the ebook or listen to the audiobook, these keys are essential for the journey ahead. You can find the link to this trilogy in the pinned comment and description below. If you feel this calling, do not hesitate, for the time to build your foundation is now. Let us return to this urgency you are feeling. Why is there a warning attached to this season? Because the beginning determines the end. The state of consciousness in which you dwell as you cross this threshold dictates the events, encounters, and circumstances you will meet in the months to come. 2 years ago, there was a woman who stood exactly where you stand now. She felt the distinct, undeniable pull of her inner being, the voice of God within, urging her to set aside the first few days of the year for intense, imaginal work. She felt the call to enter the silence, to shut out the sensory world, and to construct a new self-concept. But the world was loud. The demands of family, the noise of the news, and the habits of her old routine were seductive. She thought, I will start tomorrow. I will get serious about the law next week when things settle down. She ignored the inner alert. She delayed the act of assumption. In doing so, she remained in her old state of consciousness. And because the world is a faithful mirror, reflecting not what you want but who you are, her world began to crumble. Within 30 days, the very doors she hoped would open slammed shut. Relationships fractured, and confusion flooded her home. It took her 8 months of arduous struggle to regain the ground she lost in just 3 days of negligence. She later confessed, I did not know the beginning mattered so much, but now she knows. And more importantly, now you know. You see, the warning is not that punishment awaits you, but that the law of assumption is impersonal. If you do not consciously plant the seeds of success, health, and peace now, the weeds of the past will grow automatically. You are the gardener of your soul. To leave the garden untended in the springtime is to guarantee a harvest of thorns. This brings us to the specific days that are approaching, January 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Do not look at these dates with superstition. There is no magic in the number itself, but there is immense power in the meaning you assign to it. Think of these 3 days as a triduum of creation, a spiritual portal you are carving out of time. In the ancient scriptures, which are psychological dramas taking place in the mind of man, the number 3 often signifies resurrection, the lifting up of a new state. I suggest you treat these three specific dates, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, as your personal testing ground. The world may see them as ordinary days to return to work or school, but you, the chosen one, must see them as the first fruits. If you can hold your attention on your wish fulfilled for these 3 days, refusing to be moved by the evidence of your senses, you will set a momentum that nothing can stop. Imagine, if you will, that January 3rd is the day of separation. This is where you mentally divorce your old story. You stop reacting to the old news, the old bank balance, the old aches and pains. You stand still and say, I am not that. Then view January 4th as the day of occupation. This is where you dare to walk in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You wear the new state like a garment. You eat, sleep, and walk as though you are already the person you desire to be. And finally, January 5th is the day of the Sabbath, not a day of the week, but a state of mental rest. It is the deep conviction that it is done. If you are willing to accept this challenge, to treat these dates as sacred appointments with your higher self, I invite you to click the like button now. Let it be a small physical act that signifies your internal agreement. I am ready to take command. Now understand the nature of the resistance you might face. When we speak of prophetic warnings and spiritual battles, we are often taught to look for demons in the atmosphere or enemies in the streets. But I tell you, the only enemy you will ever face is the doubt in your own heart. The dragon, described in Revelation, is nothing more than the tyranny of your senses. The part of you that looks at an empty mailbox and screams, lack, or looks at a medical report and screams, fear. And during this divine month, and specifically during this 3-day window, the old man, your former self, will try to rise. It will whisper, who are you to imagine such things? Look at the facts. This is the battle. This is the warfare. And your weapon is not a sword of steel, but the sword of the Spirit, which is your disciplined imagination. You must cut off the head of the doubt by withdrawing your attention from it. You do not fight the darkness, you simply turn on the light. When you commit to these days, you are essentially telling your subconscious mind, I am the master here. And the subconscious, like a faithful servant, must eventually yield and externalize what you have commanded. But you must be firm. You cannot be double-minded. You cannot assume wealth in your morning meditation and then spend the rest of the day complaining about prices. That is ignoring the warning. That is serving two masters. Consider this. What if the angel sent to guide you this month is actually a new idea, a sudden desire to do something different, a quiet urge to revise a conversation that went wrong? These are the messengers of the Most High. To ignore them is to ignore the ladder that leads you out of the pit. Many of you are waiting for a thunderclap, while the divine voice is speaking in the silence of your own mind, urging you to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So as we approach these critical days, I ask you, what is the single greatest thing you desire for this year? Do not be modest. Is it freedom? Is it a companion? Is it a vocation? Identify it clearly. Then use the portal of January to plant it so deeply that no storm can uproot it. Tonight, before you sleep, try this simple experiment. Do not just think of the 3rd, 4th, or 5th of January. Think from the end of January. Project yourself forward in time. Imagine it is the last day of the month and you are looking back at the beginning with a heart full of gratitude. Hear a friend saying to you, I have never seen you so peaceful, so successful. What happened this month? And hear yourself replying, I finally remembered who I am. Feel the reality of that conversation. Feel the relief of it. By doing this, you are collapsing time. You are bending the future to the present. You are operating as the operant power. And if you find your mind wandering, if the dragon of distraction tries to pull you away, do not condemn yourself. Simply bring your attention back. Bring it back to the feeling. Bring it back to the wish fulfilled. This persistence is what separates the hearer of the word from the doer of the work. This is the divine alert. The gates are open. The potential is vast. but the choice, as always, remains entirely yours. Will you drift through another year, reacting to whatever the world throws at you? Or will you seize these days, discipline your mind, and prove for yourself that you are the creator of your destiny? The warning has been given. The method has been shared. The rest is up to you. And remember, as you walk through these days, you are never walking alone. For your imagination, the true God is with you, as you. If this message has sparked a flame of determination in you, consider subscribing to the channel so we can continue to tend this fire together. There are deeper mysteries to explore, and the bridge of incidents is just beginning to form beneath your feet. But there is one more subtle trap you must avoid in the coming days. This trap is the subtle addiction to looking for signs. It is the anxious checking of the seed you have just planted. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not dig it up every hour to see if it has taken root. To do so would be to kill the seed. Yet, this is exactly what you do when you assume you are the person you want to be. And then, 5 minutes later, you look at your bank account or the silence of your phone to confirm if it is true. The moment you look outside for confirmation, you have stepped out of the state of the wish fulfilled and returned to the state of lack. You are telling your imagination that the outer world is more real than your inner act. You must understand that the evidence always comes after, the assumption never before. The outer world is merely a delayed reflection, a mirror that takes time to adjust. If you stand before a mirror and wait for the reflection to smile before you smile, you will be waiting for eternity. You must smile first. You must assume the state first and remain loyal to it regardless of what the mirror shows you in this moment. This demand for immediate external proof is the testing of the Lord that Scripture warns against. It is a lack of trust in your own creative power. To navigate this delicate balance between the inner reality and the outer delay requires a stable foundation. It requires a map. If you feel that you're ready to stop reacting to life and start consciously creating it, if you feel the call to understand the mechanics of this power deeply, I invite you to explore the 3 keys to a prosperous life. This trilogy is not just a collection of words. It is a structured guide designed specifically for those of you who feel the awakening stirring within. It is a practical map to help you uncover who you really are, to heal the invisible blocks that have held you in cycles of struggle, and to expand your life with stability. It teaches you how to receive, sustain, and multiply your good without the heavy burden of guilt that often plagues the sensitive soul. Whether you prefer to read the ebook or listen to the audiobook, this trilogy offers the tools to stabilize your walk on this bridge of incidents. You can find the link to the 3 keys to a prosperous life in the pinned comment or the description below. If you feel drawn to it, do not hesitate, for the time to build your foundation is now. Returning to the silence of your own mind, let us consider the nature of the battle you often feel you are fighting. You, who identify as the chosen, often speak of spiritual warfare. You speak of Archangel Michael and his sword. But I tell you, these are not beings fighting in the clouds above you. They are faculties within you. Michael is the symbol of your disciplined attention. The name Michael asks the question, who is like God? And because God is your own wonderful human imagination, Michael is that quality in you that defends the integrity of your imagination. The sword he carries is the power of discernment, the ability to separate the true from the false. When a negative thought, a fear, or a memory of failure arises, that is the dragon. It seeks to devour your child, your new idea, your new desire. How does Michael fight? He does not wrestle with the dragon in the mud. He does not argue with the fear. To argue with a negative thought is to give it attention, and attention is the lifeblood of your universe. To fight the dragon is to feed the dragon. No, the sword of Michael, your disciplined attention, simply cuts the cord. You turn your back on the sensory evidence. You turn your attention away from the lack and place it entirely upon the wish fulfilled. You slay the dragon by starving it of your attention. This is the true spiritual warfare. It is the battle for the control of your own mind. Every time you withdraw your attention from a problem and invest it in the solution, in the feeling that the problem is already solved, you are wielding the sword of Michael. You are acting as the operant power. Consider the messenger that many of you wait for. You look for feathers, numbers, or coincidences. While these may be comforting, they are not the cause. The true messenger often comes as a disruption. Have you ever considered that the sudden loss of a job or the abrupt end of a relationship might be the very answer to your prayer? You asked for growth. You asked for a new life. And because the old structure could not contain the new wine, the old skin had to burst. Do not mourn the bursting of the wineskin. Do not curse the bridge of incidents just because it feels rough under your feet. When you assume a new state, say the state of great wealth, your world must rearrange itself to accommodate that state. This rearrangement may look like chaos to the carnal eye. It may look like a storm. But if you remain in the ark, if you remain in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will float above the waters. The storm is not there to drown you. It is there to wash away the old debris so that the new land can appear. This is where the concept of faith becomes practical. Faith is not blind hope. Faith is the loyalty to the unseen reality. It is the knowledge that your imaginal act is a creative fact. When you walk through your day, ask yourself, who am I being right now? If you are walking down the street feeling small, ignored, and worried, you are broadcasting that signal, and the world will respond by ignoring you and giving you more to worry about. But if you walk down that same street with the inner conviction that you are a person of value, that you are loved, that you are secure, the world will shift, heads will turn, opportunities will open. Not because you changed your clothes, but because you changed your garment of consciousness. You must wear the feeling of the wish, fulfilled, as you would wear a suit of clothes. At first it may feel strange, it may feel like a costume, but as you wear it day after day, it becomes natural, it becomes you. And once it becomes natural, it hardens into fact. There is a powerful tool you must use during these critical days, especially when the past tries to drag you back. It is the art of revision. I have taught this for years because it is the pruning shears of the mind. If today you had an encounter that was unpleasant, if you received bad news, or if you simply felt a dip in your mood, do not take that memory into sleep. If you sleep on a grievance, you are essentially asking your subconscious to reproduce it tomorrow. You are signing a contract for more of the same. Instead, before you drift off, rewrite the scene. Go back in your mind to the moment the argument happened. But this time, imagine it happened differently. Hear the other person agreeing with you. See the smile on their face. Feel the relief of a harmonious resolution. Replay this new scene over and over until it takes on the tones of reality, until it feels like that is what actually happened. By doing this, you are changing the seed. You are altering the cause. The past is not fixed. It is fluid to the imagination. When you revise the past, you change the trajectory of the future. You are untying the knots of your life. Many of you carry burdens from years ago, guilt, regret, trauma. You carry them like heavy stones in a sack. Revision allows you to empty the sack. It allows you to redeem the past. And when you redeem the past, you free the energy that was trapped there, making it available for your present creation. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. Revise it. Make it conform to your ideal. This is how you keep your temple clean. This is how you ensure that the Holy of Holies, your own consciousness, is a fit place for the divine idea to rest. Now, let us speak of the silence. You are told that God speaks in the still, small voice. This is not an auditory hallucination. It is the quiet knowing that comes when the mind is still. But how can you hear this knowing if your inner conversation is a riot of arguments? Most people are talking to themselves all day long, and usually they are arguing with invisible opponents. They are justifying their failures, rehearsing conflicts, or complaining about the state of the world. This inner speech is the breeding ground of your future. Your inner speech is your frozen, solidified perception. If you want to know what your future holds, listen to what you are saying to yourself right now. Are you saying, "I never have enough time"? Then you will create a future of rush and stress. Are you saying, "Why does this always happen to me"? Then you will create a future of recurring victims. You must discipline this inner speech. It is the bridle in the horse's mouth. You must match your inner speech to your fulfilled desire. If you desire financial freedom, your inner speech cannot be a commentary on how expensive things are. It must be the quiet, confident speech of one who has plenty. It might be a simple inner whisper of "thank you" or "isn't it wonderful." It is a speech that implies satisfaction. When your inner speech matches your fulfilled desire, you have sealed the bond. You have accepted the state, and the world must reflect it. There is no power in the universe that can stop an assumption that is sustained by consistent inner speech. This brings us to the mystery of the Sabbath. In your scriptures, the Sabbath is not merely a day of the week, it is a psychological state. It is the state of rest that comes after the creative act. When you have fully imagined your desire, when you have felt the reality of it so vividly that you possess the internal satisfaction, you enter the Sabbath. You are no longer anxious about the outcome because you know it is done. You do not worry about how it will appear. Just as a woman who is pregnant does not worry about how to form the child's eyes or heart, the wisdom within her does the work. She simply rests in the knowledge that she is carrying the child. Are you in the Sabbath regarding your desire, or are you still trying to force it? Anxiety is the sign that you have not yet conceived. If you are anxious, go back to the silence. Go back to the imagination. Reenact the scene of fulfillment until the peace washes over you. That peace is the signal. That peace is the Sabbath. When you can think of your desire without the itch of wanting, but with the joy of having, you have entered the rest. And in that rest, the subconscious mind works its greatest miracles. It builds the bridge of incidents. It influences the people who need to be influenced. It moves the mountains that need to be moved. Your only job is to remain in the state of the end and not to disturb the pregnancy with doubt. Some of you feel that because you are chosen, your life must be harder than others. You wear your struggle like a badge of honor. I tell you, drop that badge. It is a false idol. You were not chosen to suffer. You were chosen to awaken. The suffering was merely the heat required to crack the shell of your ego so that the true self could emerge. But once the shell is cracked, the heat is no longer needed. You can choose the path of grace. You can choose to learn through wisdom rather than through pain. You are the king's child who has had amnesia, living among the beggars. The moment you remember your lineage, you do not need to beg anymore. You simply assume your rightful place. The palace doors are open, but you must walk through them. You walk through them by an act of imagination. Do not be afraid of your own greatness. Many of you are afraid that if you assume you are great, you are being arrogant. But who is the I that is great? It is God. To deny your greatness is to deny the God within you. It is false humility. True humility is knowing that you can do nothing of yourself. That is, the little mortal ego can do nothing, but that the Father within, He does the work. And because the Father is your own wonderful human imagination, you must trust it. You must give it big tasks. Do not limit the Holy One of Israel. Why ask for a penny when you own the kingdom? Why settle for a mediocrity when you can create a masterpiece? As you move through these days of January, treat each day as a separate life. Wake up in the morning and set the tone. Do not let the world dictate your mood. Before your feet touch the floor, simply say, "Something wonderful is happening to me today," and mean it. Look for it. Expect it. You will find that the world is a faithful servant. It will bring you exactly what you have ordered. If you order frustration, it will serve it on a platter. If you order joy, it will find a way to bring it to you, often from the most unexpected sources. There is a rhythm to this work. There is an inhaling and an exhaling. The inhaling is the time of silence, of sats, state akin to sleep, of planting the seed. The exhaling is the living of life, the going about your business in a state of confidence. You cannot inhale forever, and you cannot exhale forever. You must find the rhythm. Do not spend 24 hours a day trying to visualize. That is effort, and effort implies resistance. Plant the seed effectively in the drowsiness of the night or the quiet of the morning, and then, during the day, walk in the confidence that it is done. Live your life. Wash the dishes, drive the car, do your work, but do it from the perspective of the person you have imagined yourself to be. If you find yourself reacting to the news, to politics, to the fears of others, remember the law of identical harvest. You reap what you sow. If you sow your attention into the fields of horror and fear, you will harvest anxiety in your own body and your own life. You are the guardian of the gate. You must stand guard at the door of your mind. Do not let every vagrant thought enter and set up camp. Challenge them. Ask, does this thought serve my awakened state? If not, turn it away. This is not ignorance, it is selectivity, it is hygiene. You would not eat food from a garbage can, so why do you let your mind feed on the garbage of the collective negativity? Feed your mind with the noble, the lovely, and the pure. Read words that inspire you. Listen to music that elevates you. Surround yourself with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is how you build a spiritual momentum. And when you have momentum, the manifestations come quickly. They come easily. You will find that you are no longer pushing the boulder up the hill. The boulder is rolling with you. Remember, the chosen one is simply the one who has chosen himself. God chooses you when you choose God. And since God is your imagination, you choose yourself when you dare to imagine the best for yourself. Do not wait for a permission slip from a priest, a guru, or an angel. You have the authority. It was given to you before the foundation of the world. The only thing standing between you and your dream is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. Change the story. Change the story right now, not tomorrow, now. As you listen to this voice, assume that you are already the person you want to be. Feel the dignity of it. Feel the solidity of it. Who would you be if your prayer were answered? How would you feel? Catch that mood. That mood is the Spirit of God moving upon the face of the waters. Sustain it. Return to it whenever you drift. Make it your dwelling place. There is a mystery regarding the time it takes. You ask, how long, O Lord? I tell you, the time is determined by the naturalness of the state. It takes as long as it takes for you to make the feeling natural. For some, it is instant. For others, it takes time to break the addiction to the old state. But do not be discouraged by time. Time is an illusion of the senses. In the realm of imagination, it is already done. The more you visit the state, the more you saturate your mind with it, the faster it condenses into this 3D reality. You can collapse time by the intensity of your feeling. And what of the people around you? The doubters? The ones who mock your dreams? Do not try to change them on the outside. Do not argue with them. In your own mind, revise them. Hear them congratulating you. See them benefiting from your success. You will be amazed at how they change. They have no choice. They are only playing the parts you have written for them in your own consciousness. If you change the script, they must change their performance. There is no one to change but self. When you change, the whole vast world changes to reflect your new nature. This brings us to a deeper understanding of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not condoning bad behavior. Forgiveness is a total shifting of your attention. You forgive a person by identifying them with the ideal you desire to see. You lift them up in your imagination, and in doing so, you free yourself from the hook of resentment. Resentment is a poison you drink, hoping the other person will die. It binds you to the very state you dislike. To forgive is to forget, not by amnesia, but by displacing the old memory with a new, revised one. This is the ultimate freedom. It cuts the karmic ties. It stops the wheel of recurrence. As you practice this, you may feel a sense of isolation at first. The old world falls away, and the new has not yet fully appeared. This is the wilderness. Do not fear the wilderness. It is the place of purification. It is where you learn to lean on the beloved, your own imagination, rather than on the crutches of the world. In the wilderness, you are fed by the ravens. You are sustained by the manna of inner peace. Keep walking. The promised land is not a place on a map. It is a state of consciousness, and you enter it by faith. You are building a temple not made with hands. You are building it with your thoughts, your feelings, and your imaginal acts. Every time you choose faith over fear, you lay a brick. Every time you revise a memory, you polish a window. Every time you enter the silence and feel the wish fulfilled, you light a lamp in the sanctuary. And soon, this temple will be filled with the glory of the Lord, which is the manifestation of your desire in the world of Caesar. But